The IFL championship game today. A lot of upset wins. Team playing their best football. The best teams standing are here today.
When it dry, when I score, I go for two. I don't believe in overtime. Put your hands up in the sky. Trenches, I'm the best in my position. Boys get the poppin', you gon' feel it like collision. Vision, mission, execute with precision. When I let my game do the talking, they gon' listen. Fans scream my name cause I earned the recognition. Blood, sweat, and tears staring at the definition. I am feeling denim, baby, this is a new tradition with it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to Henderson, Nevada, Lee's Family Forum, the site of tonight's Western Conference matchup between your Northern Arizona Wranglers and the Vegas Nighthawks. Special thanks to our friends at Fox 5 for the fantastic drone footage. Ed, this is going to be a fantastic matchup tonight between the Wranglers and the Vegas Nighthawks. And the Wranglers, as we know, still looking for victory number 1 on the 2025 campaign.
And, of course, they would love to go to Henderson and get that first victory, James, coming off a loss to the national champions last Saturday night, 49-20. This is a season that hasn't gone the way that anyone would have liked to have seen in Prescott Valley, them being 0-4. But everything can be a little bit better if they get a victory tonight in Henderson and improve their record to 1-4, if they can knock off the Vegas Nighthawks, which will be a tough task, JP.
It will be a tough task. No easy tasks really any week in the Indoor Football League, as we've seen over the past couple of seasons since we've been involved with the Northern Arizona Wranglers. And Ed, tonight is no different. A tough matchup tonight in Vegas, and it's going to be a great game. And our friend Ben Wilson will be on the call up there tonight for the IFL Network and those Vegas Nighthawks.
And it's always a tough one, especially Western Conference foes. You're taking on Vegas. It's always difficult to go there. You go to Lee's Family Forum. Of course, we remember the great days 3 years ago when we went there and won the national championship. That was a great game when they beat Quad City. I still remember that night, JP. So we would love to relive some of those memories and have a memorable night tonight in that same building and get a victory so the guys can get on the bus and get back and feel much better about themselves if they can improve to 1-4.
And there is no doubt we have some fantastic memories from that building just a few short years ago. And down here in Glendale last weekend, you mentioned it was a tough game for the Wranglers, and the Rattlers gave them everything they could handle.
They did. It's tough. It's very difficult to go to Glendale, go to the Snake Pit, and knock off the national champions. They played really well, especially in the second half. It was tight in the first half, actually. JP was 21-20 at one point, but the Rattlers, they had 5 rushing touchdowns. They were so strong. We'll see David Elder right here, just electrifying with that 53-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Should have been 2. We'll see the other one coming up shortly, but still electrifying special teams, one of those 3/3 that we talk about for the Northern Arizona Wranglers.
You know, it's so important for the Wranglers to get off to fast starts in these football games. And anytime you're playing a team like the Arizona Rattlers, it's tough because if you get behind at all against this football team, they make you pay. And any sort of mistake, they're able to expound on that and really expose the football team.
And JP, it's difficult when this team, the Wranglers offense, it's been 2 consecutive games where they've scored no points in the second half, JP. I don't know if that's ever been done or if it has been done in the Indoor Football League. It's probably been a long time, but they cannot go up against the best offense in the league, which they saw last Saturday night with Dalton Snead in that Rattlers offense. As you see, he's one of his 2 rushing touchdowns, I believe. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Shannon Brooks had 1. Isaiah Houston had 1. Dalton Snead almost perfect from the air, 17 of 20. That's that one kickoff return that we thought should have been a touchdown. Should it have been JP for the kickoff return for David?
I believe so. It looked so close, and especially from our vantage point where we were inside the Desert Diamond Arena on Saturday night, certainly thought it was a touchdown from our vantage point. But you know what, Ed? It's all about what the officials call on the field, and unfortunately, the Wranglers are going to have to somehow figure out how to turn the tide on this 2025 season and start getting in that win column here very soon.
Exactly. But it's all about just getting out there and playing football. Get back to what you know, what you have to do. You have to go out there and convert on third downs. Limit your penalties and up their penalties as far as Vegas, force the issue, force some turnovers. Of course, winning the turnover battle, being on the positive end of the turnover battle always helps. But again, score points consistently, not just in the first half. You've got to score first, second, third, and fourth quarter, because if you continue to do this, if this trend continues where you don't score in the second half, it's not going to, it's already a rough season. It's only going to get rougher if they cannot find a way to score on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, the Wranglers are no doubt going to have to reverse that trend of going scoreless in half number 2 and maybe hopefully get to the point where they're able to score the majority of their points in half number 2, as you want to get to that point where you're able to play your best football as the game progresses along into the third and fourth quarter. But unfortunately, the Wranglers not able to find a way to do that in those first 4 games. But tonight could be the night where they turn things around against the Vegas Nighthawks. We shall see.
Yeah, they had a tough game last week in San Antonio. It was one of those defensive battles that we talk about sometimes. It's rare to see defensive battles in the Indoor Football League because we're used to seeing 60, 70, 80 points back in the day scored, but 35-28 in San Antonio. They beat the Gunslingers last week. So Vegas is used to having close, tight games. As they're 2-2, they're looking to move up that Western Conference, and they would get a victory over Northern Arizona and improve their record to 3-2. But again, Northern Arizona has got to find a way to get that first victory, get off the schneid, as we like to say, JP.
Exactly right, Ed. And speaking of defense, we're going to catch up with defensive extraordinaire Chizzy Umanakwe after the break here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. We had the chance to catch up with him just a little bit ago, and we'll have that conversation for you here in just a little bit. Stay with us on the pregame show. We'll get you ready for the Vegas Nighthawks and your Northern Arizona Wranglers right after the break.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Simon, founder and CEO of Simon Med, and founder also of Simon One. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the process for Simon One. It is super easy. You either call or chat online to schedule. When you arrive, you can just check in on your phone. The examination generally takes about 30 minutes. It can be as short as 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. It's non-invasive, no needles, no preps. When you're done with your exam, you can expect the results to be done in about 24 to 48 hours. You can expect a video chat to be set up to review your results within about a week. Super easy.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song.
Thanks, LL Cool J.
I got a guy who can fix this.
We welcome you back to the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. James Spoovy coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, a guy who has really contributed a lot this season on the defensive side of the football for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, is one Chizzy Umanakwe.
Yeah, at that linebacker spot and the defensive end spot, Chizzy has come in the first 4 games like gangbusters, busting out of the gate, playing solid defense, leading this defense, one of the really good defenses in the league, one of the more physical defenses as well, James.
Absolutely right. We're going to be talking with him here in just a second. He's going to pop back in here any minute now, but he has definitely been a key cog for this defense all season long, and a big reason why the defense has played pretty solid so far, even though the Wranglers checking in tonight at 0-4 as they go in and battle these Vegas Nighthawks. But there are definitely some bright spots, and a lot of those bright spots are on the defensive side of the football.
Oh, yeah. When they take on Vegas tonight at Lee's Family Forum, that defense is going to really have to show up and show out, JP, because coming off last week, they went to San Antonio, the Vegas Nighthawks did, got a victory there. It was a defensive battle. It was 35-28. Speaking about defense, James, so I expect it to be possibly another defensive battle tonight. We don't know. Who knows? Could it be another 35-28 game? Could it be, could the score be up in the 50s? Could it be up in the 60s? We have no idea what's going to happen tonight in Henderson, Nevada, but we do know one thing, that the Northern Arizona Wranglers defense is going to have to come up, and they're going to have to show and bust out and play a really good, solid game tonight if they want to leave Nevada victorious.
We've got Chizzy Umanakwe, a big part of the Northern Arizona Wranglers defense, joining us now on the program. Chizzy, thank you so much for taking the time out. Just give us a brief synopsis of your road to Prescott Valley, Arizona, and how you became a Northern Arizona Wrangler.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you guys for having me. My journey to becoming a Northern Arizona Wranglers was just one of finding opportunity. Out of college, I graduated from Central Connecticut State University in 2023. Out of that, I got the opportunity to be a part of the Kansas City Chiefs rookie minicamp. From there, I got signed to a CFL team and the Ottawa Red Blacks. And then after that, this past year, I didn't play football, and then this is my first year coming back to the scene. So I just reached out to a bunch of people I knew, sent out my film, and I just felt the Wranglers were the best fit for me.
Chizzy, you mentioned being away from football for a year. I'm sure that had to eat you up inside, considering you talked about your stop at Connecticut State at the CFL with the Kansas City Chiefs. What did you do that entire year as you were preparing for your next step, for the next chapter of your life in football?
Honestly, I had spent a lot of time with family, because I've always been away from home for college. I went to college in Maryland, then I went to college in Connecticut. So yeah, it just took time to just be with family. Traveled a little bit, went back to my hometown, Nigeria. So that was quite the experience, and just worked. Yeah, worked, helped myself grow physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and just continue to stay ready. So when opportunity comes, I'll be ready for it. Yeah.
Chizzy, you've had a number of stops in the professional football ranks and now in the IFL. You had a stop at the UFL. You talked about your experience in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs. I know you were really close with your dad. Unfortunately, you lost him when you were in college. How proud would he be right now when he's looking down on you and seeing what you've accomplished in your football career?
Yeah, that's one thing I take pride in. I had a special relationship with my father, and when he passes my freshman year of college, and every kid's dreams to make their dad proud, especially one who loves sports as much as I did. So it definitely hurt losing him that early in my career, but I know he's proud of me, and he's looking down, and he's happy where I am and where I'm still trying to go with football in my career.
And Chizzy, I know your entire family. I know your dad's looking down. He's smiling upon you from heaven. But your entire family they've got to be over the moon excited that you're a professional football player. You've got through your first 4 games with the Northern Arizona Wranglers. I know they've got to be excited. Have they been to any games yet?
Yeah, so my immediate family, because they're from New York, so they have to time it right before they come. But my brother from Connecticut, and I have one of my brothers, he's also in Phoenix. We all played together at Towson University in college. So they came to this past game when we were at Phoenix. So that was great to see them in the stands. They were starting like chants, and just you could literally see, because they're like 6'3", linebackers as well, and they they were just so excited to see me play, and they were making a lot of noise. So that was great to see them in the stands.
Chizzy, we're going to take a look at some of your film here so far from this season, but I was reading up on you, and I understand that you started your football career kind of late, respectively, not playing football till your sophomore year of high school, I believe it was. You play with a lot of tenacity. Where does that tenacity come from on the football field that you're able to go out there and really perform like you do?
Honestly, it's just my motor. I give credit to my coaches, my teammates for, believing me and just us pushing each other and just working hard. But when I'm out there, the only thing that's on my mind is just making a play. You know what I'm saying? How can I make this next play? How can I, cause a turnover? How can I do my job to the best of my ability so I can put our defense in the best position and give our offense a chance to go out there and put up some points? So it's really just, having the team behind me and then knowing that my family's back home watching the games too. So I'm always trying to put on a show for them.
Chizzy, talk about your brothers that you go to war with, at least for the first 4 weeks of the season. We see how physical everybody is as you get to Jorge Reyna right there, get him a stop there right on the goal line. Great stop there. But your physical nature, get back in the backfield on against Tucson. But your brothers, how do they galvanize you? How do they make you better? And how do you make them better? Because it seems like everybody on the defense is on the same page when it comes to physicality and getting after the quarterback, getting after the football.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like we take pride in is, just imposing our defensive presence and just being the more physically dominant team, because Coach Hendricks, that's what he demands out of us. He always wants us to hit, be the more physically demanding team, whether it's kick on all four phases of the ball, whether it's kickoff leading to defense, put them back in field position and just make a play. So having my teammates, my brothers, we all supporting each other, we're all motivating each other, and we all just, want the best out of each other. So, I can't let my brothers down. So I always got to play to the best of my ability and vice versa, So that's one thing I really love about this team is how, it's no egos, man. Like everybody really plays for the logo that's on our chest, and we just try to play for each other and just one band, one sound type of mentality.
Chizzy, from a football perspective, what is one thing that you maybe heard about coming to the indoor game that you said that you heard about was going to be different from the outdoor full-size football game, that once you got to the indoor football league, you said, oh, that was overhyped. They were overblowing that. This is still football. This is still blocking. This is still tackling. This is still stuff I grew up on.
Yeah. That's a great question. I got to think about that one, because the one thing I say is how fast the ball gets out of the quarterback's hands. The ball gets out a lot faster and the spacing is a lot smaller. But at the end of the day, it's football. Whether it's 5-on-5, 11-on-11, 8-on-8, 12-on-12. I just love the game of football. I love what it's done for me just as a man, and the doors that's opened and the people that it's helped me meet and the places that I've been able to go with this sport. So, yeah, there's not too much of a big difference besides, obviously the obvious, which is the size of the field and just the different rules. But all in all, man, I'm just having fun. Like I said, I haven't played defensive end since high school. So, it's like knocking the rust off and getting back out there and, looking good doing this. It's fun. It's exciting.
Chizzy, what do you like about Coach James and his coaching staff? Of course, Coach Hendricks is your defensive coordinator. Coach Burley is running the offense. What is it about this entire coaching staff that you like? And is the input level? Can you talk to Coach Hendricks and talk to Coach James and input things and let them know about things that you would like to be implemented into the defense?
Yeah, that's a great question. Of course, our record doesn't show it right now, being 0-4, but I do believe in the coaches that we have, and I do believe in the coaching staff that we have, from Coach James to Coach Hendricks to Coach Burley to Coach Mike. I think each week in and week out, they do the best to prepare us for our opponent, from scouting to watching film to picking up on tendencies to putting us in the best position to win on all three phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. Coaches, they're in the office room, film room for hours of breaking down film, making it easier for us to understand our opponent and know what we have going in. if you guys notice, in the first game, in the first game we played, our home game, I was playing left end, and most of the time we kept slanting to the right, so I kept having to bury myself from the backside and then try and split the center and the guard. Now I'm 230. The guard I'm going up against is probably like 315. So I have him by speed, but he has me by just by weight and size alone. So I'll beat him with speed, and he will kind of just bury himself on me. So towards the end of the fourth quarter, where we adjusted, we put Darius at the backside end and just kept me at the front end, so I could just beat them with my speed. And then going forward, that's the adjustment that we made. So it's little things like that when we're on the field or we're in the film room. And I'm like, hey, coach, he's like, trust your speed, utilize your speed. So instead of us having you, just at the left end, we're just going to keep you at the field. So wherever the strong side is where you're going to be. So all the plays you see me, stretching the play out, coming outside to make the tackle on the Jets, that was a shout out to Coach Hendricks, because that was something we talked about. Was like, okay, let's put him front side so he can use his speed and just get around the tackles and just make more plays. Yeah.
Chizzy, how do you guys as teammates keep the morale up and keep the morale high when things aren't going as planned? You're 0-4 right now, obviously still looking for the first win of the season, but how do you guys come to practice every day, put the hard hat on, keep each other up and keep each other motivated, and maybe bring a guy or two that's kind of down a little bit or a little discouraged, get him on the bright side and get back to work?
Well, it's funny you say that, because the other day we were on the field and, it's like 10, we started practice at 9:30. So like by 10:15, we're doing special teams. And I look to my right and I'm telling my teammate, I'm like, bro, we could be anywhere else right now. Like in the morning, we could be working an office job or, doing anything else. But we have the opportunity to just wake up, run around, hit dudes, and play football and get paid doing it. What other opportunity is there, So when we have that kind of mindset, like, we're doing this because this is what we love and this is what we signed up for. And on top of that, it's a long season. It's a 16-game season. We play 4 games. We're still gelling together, figuring out, what gets us going. But more importantly, just how to finish games. I think that's just the biggest thing. Like, we know the weapons we have and we know the talent we have. Now we just got to put it all together. And I think that just comes in us coming out to second half just as fast, as tenacious as we do in the first half. And I think if we could play all four quarters of football, we could come out with a win with a win today.
Chizzy, they say the most important game on your schedule is the next one, which of course is tonight against the Vegas Nighthawks. It's always a tough one to go to Henderson and come out victorious out of Lee's Family Forum. But when you watch them on film, as you prepared for them this week and you're getting ready to go up against their offense, what do you see in them? And what are going to be some keys to victory tonight for the Wranglers to get out of Nevada with a win?
Yeah, so tonight we have to play all 3 phases to the best of our ability and just impose our will over Vegas. That means on kickoff, special teams, we got to fly down the field, pin them deep, and force them to drive down the field, because we know the defense that we have. And when we force teams to have to drive down the field on us, we get stops or they make mistakes, and we capitalize off of the mistakes. Defense, our D-line, we have to continue to be aggressive, make the quarterback feel flustered. Don't get him comfortable in the pocket. We know he likes to like roll out or trying to come up the field, and he likes to throw the ball. So, DBs, they're gonna have to really lock it down in the backfield, because all we need is 2.5-3 seconds and we're back there. So, that's the phase. And then offense, we just have to come out as strong as we do in the second half. As strong as we come out in the first half is how strong we have to come out in the second half. So, we've shown sparks, we've shown signs. Now is just time to put it all together, and we feel like tonight's the night to put it all together and come away with a win. So we're excited for that.
Northern Arizona Wranglers linebacker and defensive end Chizzy Umanakwe. It's been nothing but a pleasure to watch you play this season, Chizzy, and it's been a great pleasure to get to know you a little bit better tonight here as well. Good luck this evening inside the Lee's Family Forum. And Ed, don't forget, there's still a little bit of secret sauce there on that field left over, I think, from 2022. So maybe you guys can get that together tonight and get the first win of the season. So good luck, my friend. We look forward to talking with you again in the very near future.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And thank you for having me for the show. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Stay with us. More of the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show coming up next after the break.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Simon, founder and CEO of Simon Med and founder also of Simon One. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the process for Simon One. It is super easy. You either call or chat online to schedule. When you arrive, you can just check in on your phone. The examination generally takes about 30 minutes. It can be as short as 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. It's non-invasive, no needles, no preps. When you're done with your exam, you can expect the results to be done in about 24 to 48 hours. You can expect a video chat to be set up to review your results within about a week. Super easy.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light?
Oh my.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song.
Thanks, LL Cool J.
I got a guy who can fix this.
We welcome you back to the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. Ed, what a pleasure to catch up with Chizzy Umanakwe, a real difference maker this season on that Northern Arizona Wranglers defense. And let me tell you, we're going to need his defensive prowess tonight inside Lee's Family Forum.
Yeah, we're going to need that hybrid from Chizzy at that linebacker and defensive end spot. He's going to have to bring the pressure on Jaden DeLaura. If Jaden is going to be the one starting tonight for the Vegas Nighthawks, they're going to have to put pressure on him because he had a really good game against San Antonio last week. I believe he threw for 3 touchdowns. He's got so many weapons. Of course, Quentin Randolph is having a bang-up season already for the Vegas Nighthawks. So the secondary for the defense for the Northern Arizona Wranglers are going to be tested from Quentin Randolph and the rest of the weapons that the Nighthawks have. So it's going to be play solid defense on the back end, get pressure up front, and just, again, not turn the ball over, limit the amount of penalties that you can have. And as we mentioned, JP, score the ball consistently. What's your keys?
You're absolutely right, Ed. My keys to the game tonight, and we know all about the prowess of one Quentin Randolph. Once a Wrangler, always a Wrangler, right? Love that young man for sure.
Yes.
But tonight he's going to pose a challenge for this defense for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. The Wranglers got to get off the field on third down on defense is what I mean. And they got to get stops and get the football back to the offense whenever possible. And then they've got to exploit any mistakes that the Vegas Nighthawks make tonight, whether it's a turnover or whatever. If they get one of those footballs, they've got to take that thing down and get it in the end zone.
And JP, you mentioned third downs. Last week against the Rattlers, they were 4 for 10 on third downs, 0 for 4 on fourth down. So you cannot go 4 for 14 on 2 of the most vital possessions in your drive, third and fourth down. You've got to be able to convert on third downs, keep these drives going, keep the pressure on the defense, make those guys get tired out there because they're working to try to stop you because you continually convert on third down. So convert on third and fourth downs. When those opportunities come, convert as much as possible. And again, get into the end zone. First, second, third, and fourth quarters, and you will have a better shot of coming out victorious as opposed to only scoring in one half.
The ultimate war of attrition, isn't it? The Indoor Football League. And it should be a great game tonight. Make sure you stay tuned here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. We'll be back with you at the halftime. I'll have a special guest host for halftime and the postgame show. Mr. Jamal Gumo will join us here to recap half number 1, and then we'll recap tonight's ball game after the conclusion of the game inside Lee's Family Forum tonight. For my broadcast partner, Ed Cole, I'm James Poovey saying so long for now. Head on over to the IFL Network for the call of tonight's ball game with Mr. Ben Wilson on the call for the Vegas Nighthawks. Enjoy half number 1, and we'll see you right back here for the halftime show.
Go Wranglers.